Guys, how you doing? Welcome to Ottoman's Life. My name is Ali. Thanks so much for watching and I hope you're keeping well. I think we can all agree Lego and this plastic brick building hobby that we have is a luxury hobby of ours, and it can be quite expensive. But nonetheless, I don't think that can stop us from being a little bit savvy when it comes to our retail therapy sessions of buying this stuff. So I wanted to share with you in this episode some of the ways that I use to buy Lego and other brick building sets, how I go about it, how I try and find some of the best deals that I can find out there, and share that with you, and hope that helps you be a little bit more frugal or savvy in our shopping experiences for this wonderful hobby of ours. So let's kick things off with Lego itself, and obviously the main port of call usually is lego.com, or even if you're lucky enough to live close to a physical Lego store. Now, one thing obviously to note with the legos.com website is pretty much always at their suggested retail price. They do have some sales and some offers going on sometimes for sets that probably didn't sell that well, and you can probably pick up a pretty good deal there. But I think the biggest thing that Lego offers is their insider rewards program, their discount program. It's had various names over the years. I think the last one was VIP, but now it's called Insiders. And effectively what that does, it gives you a 5% cashback on your purchases. So if you spend £100 at Lego, you get equivalent of £5 in the bank, ready to redeem for your future purchases. And then they throw in these double insider point weekends or days or weeks on everything, or maybe on some selected sets or themes. For example, on Star Wars Day, May the 4th, they have specifically only on Star Wars Day, double VIP points, double insider points. See, even I keep thinking of VIP points. So when it's double insider points, it becomes a 10% cashback. So I usually do wait until the double insider points time frame to make my purchases, and especially when I make purchases of Lego parts themselves through their pick-a-brick service. It's the best way to really rack up some points to be able to redeem at a later time. I actually did that a lot, and that was the only way that I could justify to myself that I could purchase the Ninjago City Market set, because that was a little bit above my upper limit of what I would spend on a plastic Lego set. So I racked up quite a few points, and it was about £100 that I managed to take off. So I think it's quite worth with that 5% or 10% cashback, especially for the sets that you're not going to find in retail outlets like Amazon or Smith's or Zavvi or John Lewis or Argos, all these other retail places. Some sets are very much exclusive to Lego themselves. So obviously outside of lego.com, you can go to any of those retailers that I mentioned, like, Amazon, Smith's, you name it. I'm sure in the US, you've got places like Target, Walmart, maybe some other independent Lego stores. I think Brick Fig, Minifig World, I think I notice when I see a lot of YouTubers talk about that place. But in essence, what I usually do, I only go to those retail outlets to buy my Lego if I see a set that is greater than 10% discount, because then it's more worthwhile. I'm actually going to be saving more money buying that set through a retail outlet if it's going to give me more than 10%. If it's anything less than 10%, then I usually don't buy it from those outlets. I usually buy it from Lego, because it's still then more points and more money in the bank to buy another set with and redeem that discount. So one tip that I usually do is It's very hard to keep a track of all these retail outlets, but there is a website called brickset.com. You may be familiar with it. It's a fantastic website. It's the greatest resource that you can find for every single Lego set released, minifigure, when it was released, what year it was done, what was the retail price when it came out. It comes in very handy when you're buying retired sets. So I have a kind of principle that I never buy anything higher than the original retail price, because if I missed it, I missed it. And it's so easy to lose yourself in spending too much money, especially on retired sets. But they have a great feature of, if you want to buy Lego, you can select Amazon, you can select Argos, you can select Smiths, and it will show pretty much all their sets that they have in store by order of discount as well, and you can filter it out so for specific themes. So I usually go there, my first port of call, to see straight away, hey, is there any pretty good discounts above 10% for any sets that I'm interested in. I think also the timing of when you're making your purchase can really then come into account. I mean, obviously, if you're dead set and getting a set straight away on release day, and you got to have it day one, and you're going to build it on day one when you get it and have it, then obviously discounts and all these things don't really matter. Get it from the Lego website or Lego store, get those points in. Usually the only time I do that on a day one purchase or immediately, and I don't really wait for discounts, is usually the modular buildings that come out. I don't usually wait around. I try and get that pretty much on release day. It's a tradition that we have. But most of the time, I usually just wait because, you know, I'm a busy adult with family and a career. If I buy a Lego set, I'm not going to build it immediately. Sometimes it takes me a few weeks or months to get to it, to enjoy it and build it. And by that time, the discounts would have come in. So I usually wait a lot, especially with Lego Marvel or Ninjago sets or some of the city sets. They definitely will go on discounts a good month, 4-5 weeks, sometimes even quicker, I've seen. So if you have the patience, just wait a little bit and then you're going to see those discounts a lot, sometimes up 10, 15, even 20%, especially on holiday themes of Black Friday or Easter holidays. You know, any school term breaks, usually that's when the discounts kick in, because these are toys. Let's not forget, these are toys. So when the toys are and when the holidays are, they really promote the discounts, because it's a way for parents, and as a parent myself, let's get a toy, keep the kid quiet for a week, and then you save some money as well, so they know how to play to that. Okay, so what about other alternative sets like FunWhole, Pantasy, CaDa, and the plethora of others? Usually the first port of call is the company's own website, especially FunWhole, I have to say. I have purchased sets direct from FunWhole's website, and usually when they issue a new set, they always put a discount on straight away. Brand new set is discounted at least 10, 15, up to 25%. I think I just got the new Music Club, and that was already at day of launch a 25% discount. Get it, it's great. From that website, it makes sense, and they do give you an immediate cost of what the delivery would be, so then you can really see what the total cost would be itself. And they are very quick at sending it out. You're not waiting months. Usually you get it within 6-7 working days, which I think is pretty good, and they give pretty good tracking information, so you can see the whole supply chain when it goes from the factory to multiple sorting centers, when the flight leaves, when it arrives, etc. Because we're in the UK and we're not in Europe anymore, we have to get it. I usually buy it on the option from China, where there's no restrictions. However, if you're in the US or in Europe, in true Europe, you can actually purchase it from their dedicated warehouse in those geographical locations, which then drives down the cost of the delivery for you, and obviously the import duty is already covered in the cost as well. So do look out for that option if you are in those geographical locations. Pantasy, I've ordered directly from their website, and their price does sometimes always include the shipping, so it can seem a little bit more expensive when you're looking at it, but again, they're very quick at sending things out. They're packaged fantastically also. But one website I think does give probably the greater option of every single alternative brick company is barweir.com. They have pretty much every other alternative brick company sets on there. Sometimes they even manage to have the stock before the official sites have it, listed on their websites. And again, they do give an option for the delivery cost straight away, so you know what you're paying. I've noticed they can be a little bit expensive, the delivery costs in there, but when you tally it all together, I think the difference is quite minimal, at least in my experience, for shipping to the UK. Depending on the volume of sets that you're getting, it does probably work out a bit cheaper if you're getting multiple sets as opposed to just the one set. In terms of shipping time, they are a little bit slower. That I've noticed. It goes through probably another handling agent while it's coming through. Their tracking information really only goes up to when the flight arrives in the destination. Anything beyond that, in terms of when it was custom cleared or picked up by the local haulier and the last mile delivery, you don't usually see that tracking information. That's not to say they don't get delivered. I've never had a failure from them in terms of delivery. It's just keep that in mind. If you're an OCD person and you want to see every step of the way of where your shipment is, you're only going to see it up to a certain amount of time. But price wise, they have a lot of discounts as well. Shop around on there. They do a lot of coupons, a lot of vouchers that you can save until later. But they are easily probably one of the most easiest source to get alternative brick company sets from. Now let's talk about AliExpress. I think AliExpress is probably one of my places that I go to just to see what exciting things we have available for us as a consumer. I've bought quite a lot of things from AliExpress, tech, especially tech handhelds, retro gaming kind of things as well, and maybe some cooking ware, etc. It's very cheap, I have to say. There's so many different sellers on there, and tracking information, the costs and all this is very transparent in my view. But when we're talking about brick company sets, they do have pretty good deals. CaDa is probably the one that I've noticed the most, that I found it the most cheapest Lego CaDa sets available from any other retailer, but from AliExpress. I was always hesitant a little bit because I thought it may be a knockoff or a copy of it, but it is the original, was the original CaDa set. So just bear in mind and just really have a look carefully to make sure that it is the actual original brand and is not a copy. Sometimes when the price is too good to be true, it usually is too good to be true, but you can get some good bargains on there as well. So I do a lot of mock building and especially for the city and custom builds, and I always explain before that I do get a lot of my parts, original parts, from Lego. Bricklink is another source that I get spare parts from. I usually, because I'm in the UK, I try and limit it to UK sellers so I don't have to pay extortionate shipping fees and customs duties fees, etc., because we're not in Europe anymore. But they do have some pretty good. You have to just do your research on there to get those the parts that you want for your custom build, from instructions from Rebrickable, for example. But if you are willing and you have no problem, you can source alternative parts as opposed to original Lego parts at substantially cheaper. So my suggestion there is to go to a website called WeBrick. And they have a fantastic upload functionality that you can actually get if you have a rebrickable parts list in XML. You can upload that onto their website and it will source all the bricks for you and the cost of it. It was significantly cheaper than original Lego parts. Usually the parts are of high quality because usually they utilize company bricks parts from Go Brick as well. And it's definitely worth a look if you are looking for just parts for your own creation to mess around with and creations, because sometimes the Lego parts can be quite expensive, not only on Pick and Brick, but also on Bricklink from third-party sellers as well. Other avenues where you can really get some information is, I mean, the great thing about Lego and our brick building community is that this community is so big and it's so passionate. I mean, I've never seen a much more passionate and loving, all-inclusive group in a hobby, if I'm perfectly honest. So I use Reddit a lot, and there's a lot of threads on there that talk about Lego deals. So do your research on there as well. There's always places that you can find, and some people will do all the hard work for you and say, hey, I found a site, this set, you can get it from here. Thanks, it's fantastic. I'm sure also there is on Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook groups that you can join as well that give that kind of free advertisement of Lego sets at discounted prices. So yeah, there's a whole plethora of resources out there in the social media landscape as well. And then you're relying on people as opposed to your own self to do the work for you. So I hope that helped, and please let me know in the comments below if you have any other suggestions and tips for sure on how you save money on buying sets from Lego or alternative companies. I'll be very much interested to know, and let's get a debate going and share the love and some money while we continue our hobby. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.